Hello my friends, Ahsoka here. So I did this video, this is a sequel to my Superman Galore video that I recently recorded. I got a lot of great feedback on that video, so I thought I would just continue and just go through this crate of Superman action figures from various companies, mainly DC Direct and Mattel. We might have some from NECA today as well. Ooh. So yeah, I'm just going to go through just random Superman action figures that I've collected over the years and just talk about them and tell you why I like them, don't like them, etc. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So let me actually bring this a tad closer now for the video. So let's start off with this guy I put on top. So this is the NECA Christopher Reeve Superman figure. And look at this guy. Look at this guy. He is a great looking figure. And, you know, especially when you zoom in and you really take a look at the detail, I mean, he looks exactly like Christopher Reeve. They nailed the likeness and the body, everything is perfect. I want to say this was a 13-inch figure originally that they just scaled down into the 7-inch format. The same thing with the NECA Batman figure. So yeah, this was originally a 13-inch figure, then it became this 7-inch version. This is one I kind of wish I had bought two of because the packaging on this was great. It had the Fortress of Solitude crystalline design on the packaging, so it was really cool packaging. And yeah, I don't know how much this guy goes for now, but I would highly recommend getting him if you have the means, because he is just a perfect Christopher Reeve Superman figure. I hope McFarlane Toys, you know, does a figure of this. But next to the Hot Toys collectible Superman figure, I think this is the best Christopher Reeve figure, and it's amazing. So there you go. All right. Next up, we have Superman Blue. Now, this is the McGuinness Superman Blue. Now, this is a very like late 90s, early 2000s rendition of Superman. This is when he got those electric powers. I think it was like 1999, and it was an interesting storyline. But yeah, I love this design, and I remember reading the comics when they came out, and it was just a great storyline, really fun concept. Obviously, he went back to his normal costume, but and look, but this was just a great design for the moment and for the story. There's another version of this, the Superman Red version, same figure but in red. So I highly recommend it, and this is, I think, the best version of Superman Blue that they've ever made. So there you go. I really love the head sculpt. They really capture that sort of, you know, that electric hair kind of look they were going for, and yeah, I think it's really nice. Really nice figure. Alright. Oh, and here is one of my other favorites. I know I say that a lot, but another one of my favorite figures. This is the DC Direct Secret Identity Superman, which is of course Clark Kent. Now this figure, I don't have a piece that comes with this figure. There's actually a piece that goes over this that has a tie, so you can actually take it off like I have, or have it as Clark Kent. And then the glasses come off as well. So, and it's a very Christopher Reeve-esque face sculpt. Not exactly Christopher Reeve, but I think it's a great Christopher Reeve looking head sculpt. So they just nailed the head sculpt. Clark Kent is one of my favorite characters. It's one of the reasons I love Superman is because of the Clark Kent identity and the mild-mannered reporter. So I will take, I'll put that back on later. So I will take whatever Clark Kent figures that they throw my way. But yeah, I love Clark Kent. I love the character. So this is a great figure and a must-have for any Superman fan. So again, that's the DC Direct Secret Identity, or Secret Files, I forget, series Superman. All right, I want to make sure I lose those glasses. So this is one of the newer Superman figures. This is the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Animated Superman figure. So honestly, when McFarlane Toys first announced this figures and I saw pictures of it, I really wasn't that excited. It's not in scale with the DC Collectibles animated figures, and you know, it's not really an exact duplication of the artwork from the cartoon, but when you get this figure in hand, it's a really cool figure. It's, you know, just a really unique take on the Bruce Timm artwork. The articulation is great. There's a lot of cool poses you can put him in, and I love the head sculpt. The only thing that's a little funny with the head sculpt is the little mullet from the back, but that's really just a nitpick. But other than that, I think this is a really nice figure, and I'm surprised how much I actually like it now. So I highly recommend it if you see it on the shelves. There you go. See, look at that. Look at that cool pose. This cool guy right there. Yeah, there he is. All right. what do we got next? We did this guy yesterday, so I'm going to put him to the side. Oh, so here is the DC Collectibles New 52 Ultraman figure. I think this was from their Super Villains line. So this isn't Superman, this is Ultraman, but obviously he's based on Superman, and this is a really neat figure. The articulation points are awesome, the design is great, and I really wish they had done a regular Superman version using this body sculpt and even head sculpt, because I think this is just an awesome Superman figure overall, and I really had wished they had done a Superman version of this, but as it is, we got Ultraman, so it's a really clean, cool Ultraman figure. Yeah, that head sculpt I really dig. Look at that guy. Alright, what do we got next? Okay, so... oh, this gets a little dusty. Let me clean them off for a sec. So this is one of the most disappointing Superman figures that I own, in my opinion. So this is... oh, sorry. I hate it when the focus gets a lot of whack there. There we go, sorry. Alright, so this is the All-Star Superman figure from DC Direct. Now, All-Star Superman is a brilliant comic by Grant Morrison and Frank Wiley. It's probably one of my top 2 Superman stories of all time. It's a beautiful comic, beautiful story, just an amazing comic. And I was so excited when they first announced these figures based on the artwork. But man, I do not like this figure. As much as I want to like this figure, I just feel like it's really awkward. And I know Frank Wiley's artwork is, you know, it's interesting. I love his artwork, and it's definitely not like a hyper-realistic artwork. It's a very sort of, I don't know what the best way to describe it. Anyways, I know his artwork maybe is just a little bit too difficult to translate into a physical figure. But then again, I have this Superwoman figure, also from the same line. This is the DC All-Star Superwoman figure, and this one looks perfect. This is Lois Lane from the All-Star Superman comic, and they did an amazing job of translating her into plastic, and they didn't really do it for Superman. It definitely misses the mark. So this is one of my most disappointing figures because I love the story. I was so excited, and then when I got the figure, it just, I don't know, man. It's just awkward. It kind of captures his look, but I think the proportions are a little off, and you know, I see what they were going for, but yeah, I do not like this figure. So sorry. See, I don't like everything. Okay, what do we got next? Let's go. Oh, okay, let's pick this guy up. So this is the Mattel Signature Collection, I think Platinum Collection, Injustice Superman figure. So it was interesting, as the Mattel license was winding down in those last 2 years, they definitely tried some really interesting lines, and this is one of them. So this figure is heavy. It's die-cast metal, so it's got a real weight to it, and I really like this figure. It's a really cool version of the Injustice costume. The head sculpt is a little, I think, could use a little bit of work. There's my focus. But overall, it's a really nice figure. I love the weight of the figure and the quality of the build, and you know, die-cast metal is really cool material to use. So it's a really cool figure, actually, and you know, there's really cool detailing on it. I think they did a really good job on it, especially that this was available at retail at a reasonable price point. I think it was around $20, $25 at the most, if that. So yeah, I really dig this figure. Definitely worth picking up if you didn't get it. All right, who else do we got? Okay, so here is, this one's a little dusty too. This is the Mattel Multiverse Dark Knight Returns Superman, and I believe they used some He-Man body sculpts, or body sculpts. Reuse those for these figures, and I think it works out really well. You definitely get the bulkiness that Superman has in the Frank Miller comic. The head sculpt is on point, so yeah, this is just a really great version of the Dark Knight Returns Superman figure. Okay, let's see who else we got here. Oh, and yeah, one more Mattel figure. So this is one of the last Mattel figures featuring Superman that was ever released. This is the Mattel Superman Rebirth figure, and I dig this figure. I really like it. It looks great. The articulation is awesome. You know, the head sculpt I think is really well done. With Mattel, at the end they were using this interesting sort of you know, like this area should be, it's an interesting choice they made with this body sculpt. But I really like it, and I think it works really well on this figure, and I just love the different poses you can make. Look at that. You know, I really dig this figure, and I love the S on the back. They did that really well, so yeah, I think they did a good job on this. Okay, so let's try get a, oh, here we go. Here is a DC, this is the original DC Collectibles New 52 Superman. So, first of all, I was just really excited when they did this costume redesign. Listen, I am a traditionalist. I love the trunks on Superman, but I also like that they went for a new modern look, something that, you know, doesn't have the trunks. I'm fine with it. I love different versions of the character. So I love this design. I think this design is great. I really wish they had just kind of stuck with it, instead of just going back to the classic look. But, you know, it's life, I guess. But anyways, yeah, I really dig this costume. I love the black S on the back. I mean, I love the S logo on the back to begin with, but the black one's really cool. I really love the updated logo as well. I think Jim Lee did a great job with this. I know some fans really don't like this look at all, but I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of the New 52 comic book series and all that. So, yeah, I love this figure, and I have multiple versions of it. Alright, what do we got next? So, I'm trying to pick something that I didn't do. Oh, here we go. So, another Mattel figure. This is the Mattel Man of Steel Superman figure. So, yeah, it's, you know, it's a good figure. The head sculpt, again, they never really quite got Henry Cavill's head sculpt down. Like, I mentioned this on the last video, that Jason Momoa's Aquaman figure looks just like him. They did an amazing job on that. But, yeah, they never got his Henry Cavill's head sculpt. You know, but it's a great figure. It captures the costume fine. I love the details on the gray on the body, so I think they did a good job there. Yeah, it's a great Man of Steel figure. I think they did a much better job on the Zod figure from the same line. I think that one looks way more like the character than this one, but, you know, it's good. It works. Alright. So, here is yet another, and I'm going to do two at the same time. Here's two Ed McGuinness figures. So this is the robot Superman that came in the Superman Through the Ages box set. I highly recommend looking up the Superman Through the Ages box set. That's a little dusty. That set had some really cool figures. It had a John Bryan Superman figure, that Jim Lee Superman figure I showed you on the last video and so on, and it also came with this really cool robot Superman figure. And then we have this Ed McGuinness just regular Superman figure, and I forget which. This is from DC Direct, but I forgot if this was a regular release or if it was in a 2-pack or whatnot. I think this was the regular release, actually. So yeah, they did a great job of capturing Ed McGuinness's artwork in this whole line of figures. So well done. And they all look great together, but they all pretty much use the same body sculpt. Alright, so here's another hugely disappointing figure for me. This is the original Alex Ross Kingdom Come Superman figure. I am a huge fan of the Kingdom Come comic book. You know, I was reading it when it came out really long time ago, and when they announced these figures, I was super excited. But man, this figure really bugs me. So, first of all, I think what they did was there was a statue release at the same time. I think they just used that mold for this figure. So the neck looks really awkward. Like, it looks, you know, just weird. Like, they pretty much just cut his neck off and, you know, tried to add some articulation to it. Then the head sculpt, I feel like, is really lacking on this guy. It just doesn't really capture his artwork. The body's fine, I guess. I guess the body's good. The body's really good. Actually, now that I look at it more, the body's fine. It captures it, the costume well, the look. But the head sculpt just kills it for me. It doesn't. I don't feel like it reflects Alex Ross's artwork very well, and the neck's super awkward. So thankfully, DC Direct did release a new version of this costume and figure years later under the JSA line, and I actually think I have that figure on display. I'm looking around now, so I can't really show you it, but it's here somewhere. I'll do another video with that. Oops, sorry. But anyways, yeah, this was a super disappointing figure for me. Alright, let's go through a couple more here. And let me just grab some that I didn't do yesterday. Oh, here we go. Oh, the DC Icons line. So this is the Superman from the DC Icons line. Now the cool thing about this figure, the DC Collectibles DC Icons line to be exact, The real thing I like most about this figure wasn't this figure, it was the accessory it came with. It came with a Kelex robot that I have on display here, so I only bought this figure for that. I mean, this is a good figure. I mean, it's a nice looking figure. The articulation is great, with like all DC Icon line. I think the head sculpt is really nicely done as well. There it is. My S shield's a little scuffed up, but what can you do? But yeah, it's a really nice figure. It's a really well done, iconic figure. But yeah, but the Kelex accessory that it came with, I really dig that. And let me take a look what else we have left in here. I don't really want to talk about that one that much. Let's see. A bunch of Mattel figures. Well, I think we might have gone through most of them. Here, let's grab a couple. That one doesn't have all the pieces. All right, here is the DC Direct Supergirl figure. This, I believe, came in a box set, and this is a very kind of classic version of Supergirl. So it's, you know, it's her traditional costume, how she appeared, I think, in the 50s or 60s. So I think they did a really good job capturing that. It's just a really cool, classic Supergirl figure. So well done there. I want to say, I think that's about it. I think looking through my box here, and I'm going to reorganize these later, and I'm going to put all these in plastic bags. I got some comments yesterday that everyone was afraid these were all going to get scuffed up, so I am going to put those in plastic bags a little bit later on today for better protection. But I think that's really it. I think, yeah, oh, you know, one more. Here we go. So, this is the Mattel Superman figure. I think it's from the DC Superheroes line, and what I love about this figure is that it's got the black and red S. So I actually have a Superman tattoo, like any good Superman fan, and this is the exact coloring I have on my tattoo. And this is from a specific storyline from the 90s, maybe 2000s actually. I think it might have been 2000s. It was after the Imperialex War or something like that, and Superman was kind of bummed about what happened in that story, so he went to this black and red S for a while in the comic books, and I'm really happy that Mattel did this figure. It's a very sort of off the wall, not off the wall, but a very, you know, niche version of Superman that only lasted a couple of years. But I'm really glad they did it. And the head sculpt, I think, is fantastic as well. And I think it's just overall a great figure. And again, I love the black and red S. So yeah, well done Mattel on doing that. Alright, well I think that's about it. I have more Superman action figures, but they're all on my shelf. So I'm a little lazy, honestly, to get them off the shelf for this video. So we'll just go ahead and end things with that. Thanks a lot for watching this. I hope you enjoyed looking at all these Superman action figures. There is a part 1 to this that's on Instagram, IGTV, and as well as on my YouTube channel. And thank you again for all your support. And you guys have a great day.